So, hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I decided to give you guys a bit of an interesting video this time. I'm going to give you guys one general tip on how to play Yukiko and give you guys a one tip guide on how to go up against all the characters in this game as Yukiko. But before we dive into this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And now, let's get into this video. Now, for one general tip is when you play Yukiko as a rushdown. When you're going up against characters like Margaret, Yukari, and Teddy, you typically don't want to push them away. I know with Yukiko's bread and butter, most of her combos push her opponent away, like this combo for example. I know with that kind of combo, it pushes your opponent away, but if you're going up against characters like Margaret, Yukari, and Teddy, you don't want to do that. So, if you don't have a bar, there's nothing wrong with just ending your combo with a sweep. Ending with a combo with your sweep and then go into your mix-ups. You can go into, you can do jump B even though the jump B's been nerfed, you can't do jump B into like hitting them to their legs. It's not considered a low attack anymore, but it's still good as like a block stream, and keep going with your pressure. You can go into like a grab, bait your opponent into a grab, and then do a jump back and then throw your fans, or bait out DPs, all the good stuff. This is how you really play with Yukiko's rushdown. And let's say if you do have a bar, you can do more damaging combo with a bar by using her SP Agi. Hold on. You can do something like that. Or if you want to be fancy, you can do something like this. You'll be able to increase your fire level as well by comboing, but it's pretty hard. So to new beginner Yukiko mains, I suggest doing a combo like this. Just stick with doing the combos like this, and then you can still continue on with Yukiko's rushdown. So with that out of the way, now let's get into the one tip guide. Now then, against Narukami, you can zone against him, because there's really not much Narukami can do against you. If he uses like card sweep for example, if you have Maragi, he can't really do that because he'll get hit by the Maragi. Or if he tried to do jump 214B, I think? Yeah, 214B, you could just stop it with your Maragi and your fans, so you can actually get a combo off from that as well. So there's really not much Narukami can do to stop your zoning. But do keep in mind, if Narukami has 50 bars or more, he could just use Zaidon and punish you with their zoning, while you zone your opponent, while you're zoning Narukami. Though keep in mind, if you do wanna blocking it, you can punish it by throwing out 60 and you can get a really damaging combo off of that. Though keep in mind though, this version though, the slow version, he is safe from that, so do keep that in mind. The 2d6 2D he's safe, but 2D6, 2D6C he is not, and the X version he is not. So if you see another Kami main throw that out, you can just throw 60 and you can do a pretty devastating punishing combo from that. Against Yosuke. I don't want to say this matchup is more in favor to Yosuke because Yukiko is very dangerous against Yosuke as well, because Yukiko can do some very damaging combos onto Yosuke, and since Yosuke doesn't have a lot of health points, I mean, you know, a lot of health, she could like completely deplete his health. The only thing what makes this matchup hard for Yukiko is stopping Yosuke from his track, really, because you know, with Yosuke, he's very fast, he's a very mobile character and has no really problem getting through most of Yukiko's zoning tools. The only zoning tools that Yosuke has a little bit difficult time dealing with is with Maragi, really. The Maragi helps protect her and put Yosuke at bay, so throwing out Maragi will definitely be important, and you have to make sure Yosuke doesn't get get up close to you as well, because if he does, you know, it becomes really hard on guessing what Yosuke is going to do, because you know, Yosuke, since he's very fast, he uses his speed to confuse his opponents. So now let's say if he gets a knockdown of his, let's say like with jump to C, for example, there's multiple things Yosuke can do. He can do jump and then hop back into an overhead, or go forward and jump back and then do an overhead, or he could just grab you, or continue with his strings and then like go jump, hop, overhead. There's a lot of things Yosuke can do, and it's very difficult to, I won't say difficult, but it can be very annoying to guess, in my honest opinion. The best tip I could say is, if Yosuke is up in your face, you want to be careful of throwing out your DP, because Yosuke can actually do some good damage if it's a counter hit on you. So you want to keep Yosuke guessing on whether you're going to use your DP or not. And also, throwing out Maragi will help discourage Yosuke from attacking you. So throwing out Maragi will help you out as well. And also, your fans, you know, 3B is best to be used when you're at full screen, and 2B is best when you're like full to mid screen. I recommend using 2B more against Yosuke, because you'll rarely see Yosuke from full screen. You'll see Yosuke really just trying to approach you like that, for example. So definitely using 2B to stop Yosuke from his track and make sure he doesn't like get a head start on you. Against Chie, you really want to make it really hard for Chie to get up in your face, because Chie is very dangerous when she gets a head start on you and be more aggressive towards you. Her Okizeme is just as dangerous as before, and it could be a real pain and a headache to trying to guess whether she's going to do an overhead or go for a low or grab you or bait out your DP. So definitely want to learn how to zone with Yukiko as Yukiko against Chie. You know, remember the string, the jump B string, that's going to help you out a lot. Throwing out Mirages and throwing your persona. You really want to make it hard for Chie to get up in your face. Remember the guide that I showed you of how to zone as Yukiko? This is definitely important with this matchup, and you want to make it hard for Chie to get up in your face. If she somehow, someway managed to get up in your face, relax. Do not throw your DP out recklessly, because if Chie has, you know, 100 bars or more, Chie can do a devastating punishing combo onto you, and you don't want that. So be careful with that as well. And yeah, that pretty much sums this matchup with Chie. Mirror matches. Mirror matches are usually pretty hard to deal with, so I'll give you more tips than one against Yukiko just because this matchup is typically hard. So first thing first is, if you see your opponent Yukiko increasing your fire level, you want to match their fire level as well. The last thing you want to do is to let your opponent out damage you. You want to make sure you be able to do the exact same damage as your opponent do. Do not throw your persona out against Yukiko. Yukiko can heavily punish your persona, so don't throw your persona out so recklessly. Also, I wouldn't recommend using Meraki that much too, because Yukiko's fans can just punish that as well. You really just want to use your fans more and using Phoenix Flame Swirl against Yukiko. Let's say if you get a hit, if you hit your opponent with the Phoenix Flame Swirl, you can just quickly throw out your persona and try to get up close to your opponent if you must. But overall, you don't want to throw your persona out that much against Yukiko. Throw your fans out and your Phoenix Flame Swirl more, and you want to match up with your fire level as your opponent as well. Kanji is a bit of an interesting matchup in my opinion. What really makes this matchup a little bit difficult for Yukiko is with Kanji's Primal Force. Primal Force is a really good counter to Yukiko because most of all of Yukiko's zoning tools is denied by Kanji's Primal Force. So the best tip that I have for you is to punish Kanji when he uses Primal Force. You can punish Kanji's Primal Force by just using 5A. Don't use your DP. I am so sorry. I actually wanted to delete that video of me saying that you can use your DP to punish Kanji's Primal Force. Just don't do it. Don't do it, please. I'm gonna show you guys how to handle Kanji's Primal Force in a second. So with this matchup, Yukiko really doesn't suffer too much against Rise, mostly because Yukiko makes it really hard for Rise to set up. What I mean like set up by, like, you know, she does 2-2 B for example, and then throw 2C out and then go 2D and try to get closer to her opponent. Yukiko instantly shuts that down really easily because of the fact that she has her fans and her persona to stop her from her tracks. So you really want to make sure you don't give Rise any time for her to do her use her setup just to get up in your face. That's all you really have to do when you go up against Rise. Teddy, oh boy, this is a pretty hard matchup for Yukiko, and the main reason why it's a hard matchup for Yukiko is one is Teddy's ridiculous hitbox. I'm talking about 5B. That hitbox is ridiculously big and long, man. and 2 is his TV. The X version of his TV tracks, and if it's a counter hit, he can get a combo off of that as well. If he doesn't have bars, you can zone against Teddy because there's not much Teddy can do with without bars. But when he does have bars, you want to change up your playstyle immediately, and you want to be more aggressive and try to get up in his face. Even if Teddy doesn't have any bars, I still wouldn't recommend zoning against him because you don't want Teddy to have an upper hand against you. So you have to really play rush down as you could go. Get up in his face more, try to bait out grabs and bait out DP and punish him kind of scenario. I've always found this matchup to be very interesting because this is probably one of the most balanced matchup Yukiko has in this game, really. This is the matchup of who can outsmart the other kind of scenario. So Naoto usually has no problem dealing with Yukiko's zoning because Naoto's DP is so versatile. Naoto's DP can punish physical attacks and projectiles, so she really has no problem dealing with Yukiko's zoning. So this is the type of matchup where you have to get up into Naoto's face a lot and try to bait out her DP as well. It's a similar matchup as Teddy, but only different is even though Naoto has no problem handling with Yukiko's zoning, Naoto really shouldn't be trying to fight from afar. She should be trying to get up into your face as well. So basically it's the same matchup. It's the same how you fight against Teddy. Try to bait out her DP and grabs and punish it. The best part about Naoto's DP is if you baited it correct, if you bait out her DP, you could actually get a 4D counter hit for this and do devastating punishing combo from that. So that's basically the gist of this matchup, really. Against Junpei, I don't think you'll really ever see anyone play Junpei, really. The most you'll see is Shadow Junpei, in my honest opinion. Because with Junpei, it's really hard to try to get his base up, the base to 10. With normal Junpei, it's very easy to do it with Shadow Junpei, which you see, I think his name is Big Pat, or something like that, for example, who shows you how he can get Shadow Junpei up to 10 bases pretty fast as him. But overall, this matchup is heavily more in favor to Yukiko. You know, Junpei, with him throwing his persona around, Yukiko can heavily punish that by just throwing out her fans. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. See, so Junpei can't really rely on his persona to get in on Yukiko's face, which kind of sucks for Junpei because he does rely on his persona to get in on his opponent's face. Also, Meraki also help you out by punishing Junpei's persona attack too, so that's another strong counter to Junpei as well, and also your Phoenix Flame Swirl as well. You could just stop him from his track by just throwing that out as well. So yeah, as long as you're able to punish Junpei's persona and make it, I wouldn't say make it hard for Junpei, because this is the type of matchup where you can zone against Junpei, or you can play rush down or be aggressive towards Junpei. You really have to get a figure out how your opponent plays around with your Yukiko, for example. Let's say if Junpei somehow, some way knows how to deal with Yukiko zoning, then you have to switch it up and be more aggressive and rush down towards him, for example. Those are the kind of things that you should be running through your head by thinking, okay, should I just zone against him, or should I be more aggressive and rush down against him? I've already covered this matchup in one of my other videos, but basically in this matchup, you have to get your fire level up to 3 in this matchup. Trust me, it will help you out a lot in this matchup because you have more of a stronger tool to deal with Yukari's shenanigans. You know, this is the type of matchup where you have to get into your opponent's mind and see and to punish Yukari's some of her zoning tools. So like say if she throws out Miragi and then do this, for example, this should be a good time to jump up and then throw your Phoenix Flame Swirl and punish her by doing that. I'll show you what I mean in a second. And as soon as that happens, you want to try to get up in her face. I would say throw out this attack, but Yukari can just swiftly just do the X version if she has a bar and get away from it. The problem with this matchup is it's really hard. It's hard to get up in Yukari's face. That's the hard part about it, but once you get up in her face, that's when you'll have the momentum in this matchup, because keep in mind, you know, Yukari is fast, but her normals are very small. Yukari has no anti-air, and Yukari's DP sucks. So with that in mind, with her defense being so bad, you want to be up in her face and try to punish her by making a mistake by like baiting out her grab or her using DP, all that good stuff. Do keep in mind though, if you do block her DP, she will, if they have like, if they have like 50 bars, then they'll just go into super to make it safe somewhat, or to punish you into thinking that that she's unsafe. So like, let me show you what I mean. That's how you really deal with that. In case if Yukari has 50 bars. I wish there was more that I could say with this matchup. Really, the easiest way how to deal with it is to get your fire level to 3 and punish Yukari by throwing out Phoenix Flame Swirl and try to get up in her face. Good luck with that though. Against Akihiko, you really shouldn't have too much of a problem going up against Akihiko, since, you know, Akihiko had a bad downgrade in this patch. Akihiko has a very hard time getting up into Yukiko's face, and you want to do that. This is the same kind of scenario when you're going up against Chie, for example. Make it hard for Akihiko to get up in your face, throw Miragi, throwing your Persona, do all that good stuff, get your fire level up, throwing Phoenix Flame Swirl, all that. You want to make sure to make it very hard for Akihiko to get up in your face. And like I said, if Akihiko some way somehow manages to get up in your face, stay calm. When you want to keep your opponent guessing on whether you're going to use DP or not, so just don't throw your DP so recklessly like that. You want to trust your defense as well. Against Mitsudo, this is interesting because before then, this matchup was really hard for Yukiko once upon a time, and it's really because of Mitsudo's 5D and 2D and Jump D. It was such a great tool to punish zoners like Yukiko, for example, but with her 5D being nerfed, it's really risky to throw out Mitsudo's 5D most of the time. So now Mitsudo players really have no choice but to rely on themselves by to get closer to you by just throwing out, you know, charge up back, and then I don't know the notation of that, the proper notation of that, but really just using this tool more often and try to get up in your face. You definitely want to make it very hard for Mitsudo to get up into you, Meraki will definitely be your best friend. Definitely want to make sure to make it hard for Mitsudo to get up in your face, especially Shadow Mitsudo. Shadow Mitsudo is definitely a character that you want to make it very hard to get up in your face. I really recommend using Meraki more so you make it very hard for Mitsudo to be able to use this move more often. Because if they use that move and then you have Meraki up, she'll just get hit from Meraki and you'll be able to get a good damage combo from that. So definitely use Meraki more against Mitsudo. Alright, I guess. This matchup is interesting. I really want to say this matchup is a little bit more in favor to Yukiko. Really, I want to say it is, but it's even, but it's a little bit more in favor to Yukiko in my opinion. When I guess it's in Orgia mode, you want to make it really hard for Aegis to get up in your face, because if Aegis get up in your face, you're dealing with an infinite amount of possible mix-ups that you have to guess, and unless you're a god, you're gonna have a really hard time predicting whether Aegis is going to do like an overhead or a low, or an overhead again, like 2 overheads, or like an overhead to a low, all that good stuff. You don't want to do with that. So you want to make it really hard for Aegis. Meraki, it could help you as well, but really just throwing out your fans, running underneath Aegis and jumping a lot and throwing at your fans and your persona will definitely help you out when dealing with Aegis in Orgia mode. Make it hard for her to get up to you, to your face, using Queen's Face Throw as well, all that good stuff. Using all Yukiko zoning tools to make it hard for Aegis to get up in your face will definitely help you out a lot in this matchup. And once Aegis runs out of Orgia mode, or she charges up her Orgia mode, that's when you want to get up in her face and start to be more aggressive towards her. This is definitely one of those matchups where you have to think of whether you should zone or not. So Orgia mode, zone. When she's not in Orgia mode, get aggressively, play more like a rushdown kind of character. That basically sums up with this matchup. One thing you don't want Labrys to do is to let Labrys charge up her axe. If her axe is at red, she would do insane amount of damage towards you. Luckily, with just one of Yukiko's bread and butter combo, she could instantly get her axe down to orange by just one simple combo. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. As you can see, already down to yellow axe, and if you zone her and make it hard for her to get up to you, you make her axe go down even lower. So this is definitely the matchup where you have to make it very hard for Labrys to get up into your face, and make sure she doesn't charge up her axe. So against Ken and Koromaru, this is basically the same matchup as Aegis. You want to get rid of Koromaru as fast as possible. Well, I wouldn't say get rid of Koromaru, but make it hard for Koromaru to get up in your face. Meraki and your persona will definitely be your best friend to stop Koromaru from his track. You want to run away and make it hard for Ken to get his offense started. And once he sends Koromaru away, that's when you want to be aggressive and try to get up in his face. Just give up. You're never, ever going to win against Labrys. I promise you that. Against Sho Minatsuki, this is a pretty even matchup. It's the same as like Chie and Akihiko, for example. Sho Minatsuki doesn't have that many great tools to help him against zoning. So you want to make it very hard for Yukiko, for Shomanatsuki to get up in your face. The only thing that is very scary about this matchup is if Shomanatsuki does want to get up in your face. His 5A is a really good normal. It has a long hitbox, and he could put himself in a very good distance to not get hit from Yukiko's DP, and it's a very good, I don't think it's plus on block, but sadly, since Yukiko doesn't have a fast normal, she can't mash out of Minatsuki's 5A range. So like, let me show you guys an example. Real quick. Like this, for example, there's really not much Yukiko can do against that, really. You really just have to find, if he does like, do this so much, like this, for example, if you have a bar, you can push back him away. If you have bars to do that, but other than that, you really just want to stay calm and guess all of Minatsuki's mix-ups. Really, guess Minatsuki mix-ups and use your DP at the right time. Really, not when he does this string, for example, like his 5A string. One, even you use DP, she'll still be safe. Like, let me show you guys. No. See? See, you can't push him away from that range, and if this happens, Minatsuki can get a very damaging combo onto you. So, really the best tip that I say against Minatsuki is make it hard for him to get up in your face. And if he does want to get in your face, be very careful of using your DP against him. Now against Minatsuki's Shell, this is basically similar to Shell Minatsuki. Only different is Minatsuki's Shell has more tools in its disposal than Shell Minatsuki to deal with zoning. And I'm sure everyone knows is 2D and his teleport. That's a really good tool to help him against zoners, but you can punish his teleport by just using 5A and then do your combo or using your DP. So let me guys show you. So with that alone, you'll be forcing Minatsuki to not use teleport against you, but he will use 2D though. Around this range, you can punish his persona by using, 2A. Do keep in mind though, if after Minatsuki used 2D, he will throw a kunai at you, and you will get hit if you use your sweep. But you can deal with it by using your DP to be immune to the projectile. So let me guys show you guys real quick. Like that, really. So you can make it very hard, just as much Minatsuki can make it very hard for you to fight in full screen. You can make it very hard for Minatsuki to fight in full screen as well. Only thing is with Minatsuki is that if you do wind up finding a way to stop him with his full screen rush, like his zoning abilities, another very troublesome thing to deal with is when Minatsuki's up in your face. Not only Minatsuki's normals is really good, 5A, Minatsuki and Shell Minatsuki share the same normals. They're both of their normals are good. But not only their normals are good, well, Minatsuki's normals is good. He also has a command grab as well. That's what you have to keep in mind of as well. he can't get a combo off of that. Only thing he could do is like either command grab into the super. Oh, that's the wrong one. You can do something like that, or go into a command grab into a burst. Wait, right? Do something like that. I don't know any Monatsuki combos, but he can burst and then go into a combo off of that as well. So, like I said, do keep in mind of using your DP, you know, carefully. You don't want to use your DP recklessly against him. You want to trust your defense and keep an eye on his his command grab. You can hop over his command grab and then go into a do a hop and then do 5A if you guess he's going to do a command grab, because if he does do a command grab and do a hop into a jump A, it'll be a content and you can do a pretty good combo against him. Now, there are two types of Adachi players out here. One, the insanely good Adachi player, or two, the one that I can't stand, is the jump C abusers. Jump C is such a stupidly strong normal, man. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. The worst part about it is Yukiko can't do nothing about it. Unless you can use DP though. But a good Adachi player will be able to bait out your DP and they could do a pretty damaging combo off of that. This matchup is a little bit hard for Yukiko, a little bit. This is just typically the same matchup where you want to do, well, typically the same matchup as Teddy. Want to be up in his face and try to bait out his DP and grab and stuff like that, and just be very aggressive, assertive towards him. You can punish 2D with your 2A, I believe. 2A or sweep. If he throws 5D, you can. There's two things. There's two. Not only two ways, but there are plenty of other ways to stop him from doing that. You can throw out 16. And if you're faster, and if you're fast enough, you can actually get a counter from that. But that's if you'll be able to predict if Adachi's gonna do that though. Or you could use the SB version, the SB of the Agi to stop him really fast. Almost like Blaze Blue cross tag battle situation. Not situation, but like basically the same way how you could deal with that in Blaze Blue cross tag battle. If you have your level fire levels 3, you can just throw out Flame Swirl as well. If you are unable to punish him and you're up in the air, you could do what am I saying? You could do the Agi and then throw out your persona to run out the time of his 5D. And yeah, that's basically how you want to handle with Adachi. Be up in his face, don't let him have any kind of time to let him do whatever he wants to do, and yeah, that's basically it. So really with this matchup, you want to make sure Elizabeth doesn't get into Awakening. You want to get rid of her as fast as possible before she gets into Awakening. That's why I usually prefer to play Shadow Yukiko against Elizabeth and normal Yukiko, because I could just go Frenzy and just finish her immediately. But if she does somehow, somewhere get into Awakening, don't jump against her too much, because Elizabeth is the type of character that can just easily turn the table with just one hit. Just one hit is all she needs to be able to turn the tables around. So when she's awakening, don't jump too much, because her 214A and 214AB plus what? 214A plus B is a anti-air, and she can do some very dangerous combos against you. Last but not least is Margaret. Margaret has good tools to help her dealing with zoners. So like for example with Margaret has her sweep where it's full screen. She can throw out projectiles from afar. She's very fast, has no problem getting up into her opponents. Very good normals. She has all of that and has very scary mix-ups potential as well. Go into overhead or into a low or a command grab, which you can't break, by the way. You can't break that persona. You have to jump to avoid it. She has all of that, but her number one weakness is her defense. You know, Margaret's normals is not a good tool to use to... I always say match up. No, let me scratch that. She has all those good tools, but the only thing that sucks for Margaret is that her defense is not the best. You know, Margaret doesn't have many tools to help her against rushdown characters. Her DP is so bad, it's actually hilarious. So you want to try to get up in Margaret's face as much as possible against her, and never give her any chance to breathe kind of scenario. Remember that I showed you from the guide. I keep saying that over and over again, but the guide video that I showed you guys, you want to rely with your pressure, try to bait out grabs, DPs, all the good stuff.